Here we go, boys. I'm gonna do my Moonlight 7 number 25. Let's see who I get. These things go so quick. After that, I'm gonna quickly review the Mystic summoning pool, and I'm gonna talk about the arena, talk about the meta in arena, like the heroes that are used, like the Moonlight arena, basically. So, let's start with this Moonlight 7. No Nat 5 yet. So 25th, maybe it shines, maybe she pops from the right, I mean, maybe nothing. Alright, upgrade, nope, alright, 3-star. Phyllis, very strong, but, I wish I could use her on my defense a while ago. It's just that this, she's gonna use her barrier, which doesn't, it's not big, it's a small barrier, and if I run her with, let's say, Angelica or Dian, well, she's gonna replace their barrier with hers, which is unfortunate. But if they start cleaving, if they hit her, she's gonna put the increased defense buff on the whole team, which is really good, and her defense stacks up over time. It says increase, yeah, every 4th attack received. So yeah, she still needs to be attacked quite often. So really on arena defense doesn't work. So I tried her very early on in the game, but it's mostly in PvE where she shines, and you can turn off her skills if you have someone that applies barrier on your team, so it doesn't overlap and it doesn't get replaced. And provoke is quite a strong debuff, but it doesn't work on bosses. You can control some ads, which are dangerous, but yeah, solid hero, really tanky. Let's go here and talk about this Mystic summoning pool. I'm actually gonna summon on my second account on this rotation. Kise could be good. The issue is this artifact. I don't like this artifact. This is random. Critical hit chance buff, that is 50% crit chance increase, which is strong. It's very strong. And attack buff, that's 50% attack increase. Critical hit chance buff, that comes from Tywin, that comes from Challenger Domino. Challenger Domino applies one that is team wide, and Tywin applies it on himself and the I believe it's the ally. On auto, it's the ally that is the closest to 100% combat readiness, or on manual you just choose whoever you want those buffs on. And also there's a 30% combat readiness increase. So Shuri, very good if you need someone to give you as many turns as possible. If you want to use Shuri in arena offense or arena defense, Guild War offense, defense, very good, because Shuri cannot be countered with a hero like Hurado. That means he always attacks Hurado. If you use a non-attack skill, a combat readiness booster that doesn't deal damage, well, Hurado is going to be able to he's going to receive 20% combat readiness, which is going to allow him to cut in, and he's probably going next. After that, he's going to use skill 3, which reduce combat readiness on your whole team by, I believe it's 15%, and also remove your buff. And if he's wearing Abyssal Crown, he can potentially stun you. But I believe the stun actually happens before the removal of the buffs. You can correct me in the comment section, guys, if you know the exact answer. But yeah, big disruption from Hurado. If he doesn't push your combat readiness back, he can stun you with the Abyssal Crown. So yeah, Armin, I would say mostly an early game hero, but she is super tanky. Yeah, that's a lot of things coming out of this hero, because this is a whole barrier for your whole team and healing. So that is very useful. And also it's the barrier strength proportional to the caster's defense, and the amount recovered is based on the target's max health. So you can have a bunch of defense on her and I mean the healing part is proportional to the target's max health. So you just stack a bunch of defense on Armin, and she will hold the front line. And decreased hit chance, that's 50% chance of them missing, dealing 75% damage, cannot crit, cannot land a crushing hit, and cannot land any debuff. This is an AoE, which is very strong in the Abyss especially. You can use Armin and Golem. I used her in on my second account, but I replaced her later. In stage 11, of course, Earth is not the best element. I would say, of course, Fire counters Golem and deals more damage and takes less damage because the Golem misses at 50% chance because of elemental disadvantage. And this, yeah, and the Abyss is very good in other areas of the game as well. Can be used sort of like in PvP. I use her on my PvP defense, Arena, Guild War, my second account, because she's super tanky, and I only left her as a 5-star. Silk, unfortunate because we get her for free from the connection, but she is ultra strong. I mean, Silk is definitely worth to invest into in the, especially in the early game. But you can use Silk to pretty much take out Banshee in one turn before she brings her 4 sisters. You build up a bunch of souls, have a bunch of crit damage, attack, speed on her, and you just go crazy with soul burn, and you just soul burn, get an extra turn, and keep on doing that. Very, very strong, but you can use her in raid, very good morale gain. That's a buff remover, and not only that, but after removing, you remove buffs, and then you get 50% combat uniqueness. That is huge in one skill. More damage if the enemy is, well, the enemy was buffed. And then like 50% combat uniqueness, you could potentially like cut in before some of the enemies go, and yeah, you can decrease their combat uniqueness 2 chances. So that's pretty cool. And decrease combat readiness, increase its own combat readiness. He's a strong hero, I would say. Like you put Tagahil's Ancient Book on him, and you can soul burn on, let's say, your damage dealer. So that's pretty cool on top of removing buffs. The issue is that he is of the ice element, so he's going to be at elemental disadvantage because he's dealing damage. Like, let's say, Falconer Chloe, she uses skill 3, which remove buff, applies defense down, and I mean, she doesn't have to worry about elemental disadvantage because the skill doesn't deal damage. It doesn't have to. Yeah, that's the way I understand it, and that's how I've been seeing it work. I would say, I mean, this is good on DN if you don't have Rod. Some other heroes can use it. I don't use it on other heroes. It was just for DN when I got it early on. And you've got Tagahil's Ancient Book in here as well, which is a very strong artifact when you open up in PvP, especially. You can use that as well on a mage in if you want to burst Banshee before she gets into the second phase with her 4 sisters. So yeah. And this is, well, the resist meta. If you have a warrior, you can build a warrior bruiser, put that on him or her, and you're gonna have a bunch of effect resistance, which means it's gonna be much harder for the enemy to land debuffs on that hero, which is extremely powerful. So like you could use this on martial artist can, let's say. You can use this on anyone really when you want to build a bruiser. That means a damage dealer that has good survival still, and you could have like 3 supporting heroes, 1 bruiser on your PvP team in arena, or 2 support, 1 bruiser in Guild War defense or even offense. You put that on that warrior bruiser, and yeah, he's gonna be he or she will be resisting a lot. Now, of course, there's other things here. What else? Well, Prophetic Candlestick. Well, I mean, if you still need more copies, that's really good. Labyrinth Cube is used in higher level PvP on combat readiness boosters. So what happens is that if you lose turn 1, you can potentially cut in after their booster, combat readiness booster, or like let's say their buffer afterward, or the second combat readiness booster. You have the potential to gain combat readiness with your booster and cut in and win the battle because of Labyrinth Cube. It's not to be overlooked. I mean, I don't use this thing here because I use support soul weavers with Wondrous Potion Ball that dispel debuff of anyone on the group. But yeah. Did I cover? Yeah, I covered everyone. And Kise, I have her. Amazing for Wyvern, especially if you're struggling to break the barrier. That's definitely where she shines. I have her like this is pretty much, this is maxed out, the skill, and this is maxed out. Skill 2 is only like 1 skill up on it. But the fact that you increase turn cooldown on what's called on the target, that is huge. And gaining stealth. Wait, where is it? Yeah, there it is. What? Something's off. Yeah, this doesn't account. This is not awakened, but I can show you real quick here. There it is. In stealth, that's very powerful, and also when you're in stealth, you take 50% less damage from area attacks. That is a big plus. Stealth in 2 turns for 2 turns, and if you have barrier and they fail to break the barrier, you stay in stealth even though they damage your barrier. That's another big thing here. This 70% increased damage if the target has barriers. So in PvP against any hero that keeps applying barrier on the enemy team, that you soul burn that, oh my god, she just like melts through those barriers. And this thing, like I said, yeah, the increase of 2 turn cooldown is of a massive help against any hero that relies heavily on their ultimate, like something like a revive or anything, a heal, like super useful. And this deals quite a bit of damage if you're in stealth, penetrates defense by 60%. Even if you're not stealthed, that's still an area attack that has some decent damage. I only skilled it up once though, but still quite good. So back to it. I'm gonna talk about the arena in a second. Let's talk about these 2 heroes. Let's start with Crescent Moon Ren. She can be used in multiple areas of the game. I don't think her morale is that good in the raid though. There's better options, but this is very powerful. The issue that I have with it is that the most powerful would definitely be a skill that remove all debuffs on your team, or like 1 on each target, or 2 plus applies immunity afterward. Now that's something that's really like game changing, but still she is super powerful. She's of the element neutral, and yeah, I mean, you apply immunity on all allies, and you dispel. You have 2 dispels with her. Don't have to worry about HowTo cutting in because everything deals damage. So yeah, you dispel and you grant immunity, but that's not what it is though. Man, the awakening is not part of these things. I don't know why they don't do it. There she is. Yeah, you get an extra turn if the target buff has been dispelled. So in higher PvP play, you will be facing a lot of players with immunity sets, so you can target that. Or if you lose turn 1, well, they might have a buff that you can remove. But yeah, crazy base speed. I have a review of her and ML Bell. Crazy base speed. Immunity is so powerful, but the fact that she can dispel twice and apply the immunity on the whole team on a 4-turn cooldown, that's beautiful. And she's a thief, so she can carry Rihanna and Luciella artifact, and this actually steals buff, so it's that's a huge game changer right there. Like especially in PvP, PvE, buffs are of a massive help. So you remove their buff, you gain them, and you apply them to your whole team. It used to work against Enrage in Azimana Kant, but that was fixed because that was too overpowered. And random buff here. Anyways, a very strong hero. And ML Bell, my god, it's just, yeah. The thing is, to counter Sage Bell in Season, you just bring him below 50% health, and he's gonna use skill 3 instead of skill 2 because he can heal with this thing if the enemy is defeated though. So that's one way to go about it. You go before him and you just bring him below 50% health, or you use like a hero like Falconer Cleary. You just try to provoke him before he hits your whole team with the Cloud of Rune. So this dispels 2 buffs off of the enemy team on each hero, and then my god, puts them to sleep for 1 turn. And also he can easily cut in, because every time someone's turn, and I mean he's getting 25% combat readiness. Oh god. And more sleeping on this thing, and he's very tanky and also very fast for a mage. ML Bell, Xeno, and Dizzy all have the same stats, by the way, if you didn't know. Plus they have effectiveness and effect resistance from Awakening for free. And more tankiness here from the Memory Imprint. Yeah, and not only that, you can wear very powerful artifacts if you have. I mean, you wouldn't use this, of course, because it doesn't deal damage. You would use Ithaca's Scepter to reduce skill cooldown, to just cycle through his skill 2 more often. Or you could use Necro and Undyne. Actually, wait. Oh, wait, that doesn't work. It's for Araminta, Necro and Undyne, yeah. You need to deal damage. So definitely, like, Ithaca's Scepter is a huge deal there. And yeah, there's some other... Was there some other options, really? Because you need to deal damage. You could definitely have this on Bell and Soul Burn someone. Like, I see a lot of... let's actually move on to the arena ranking. It's a new week here. My defense, I changed it. I'm going full on Cancer. I'm working on effect resistance, but it's starting to look pretty good. And yeah, everyone's tanky, so it takes a while to kill someone. If you don't kill like Shooting Star Akatis, she's gonna start to revive. So pretty cancerous, but that's how you build an arena defense. My stats are not where I want them to be, but yeah, that's the start of the week. Well, yeah, a new week, and I can say that it's been going good so far. And just before the reset, I was just like getting attacked. Yeah, I was getting attacked not too often. 128 times that I got attacked, and usually I get hit. Like you can see 4 weeks ago, 180 times. Wait. Is that total amount of... yeah, total amount of games. So I've been hit 180 times, 144 times, 180 times, and 128 last week. And I was using a speed team, speed cleave team for what, the first 3 or 4 days. Then I swapped for the last 2 or something like that. Maybe it was between 4 and 5 days. I was using a cleave team. So we'll see what happens at the end of the week. But people are more scared to attack. They don't want to deal with lineups that are super tanky, and they're afraid of not being able to cleave them, or like the battle is going to be too long. They don't feel like doing it. And let's look at the ranking real quick. So Elu 12 is one of the... there's a few players that use like one Moonlight hero, or I've seen Elu 12 not use any Moonlight hero. So props to him. And running triple knights, that's very good for survival. You can run the 4-star artifact. Man, I'm gonna have to pull it, sorry guys, because the beauty with that is you could have, let's say you run could have a Bruiser Charles, and you would run him with Elbrus Ritual Sword, but he just go pure tankiness. I believe it's like, yeah, there's multiple ways to go around it, but Adamant Shield can definitely be used. That's 16% critical hit damage reduced from the enemy team, so it's easier to sustain the team. I mean, Aureus, of course, you're gonna have to be super tanky if they're cleaving. It's gonna be so much damage redirected on that knight. I mean, you don't have to level it super high if you're having issues with keeping survival, but there's that 10% defense. And yeah, you would probably max it out and make sure that hero like is really tanky. Like you put that on Crowman, and he's gonna get below 50% health, and then he's gonna use S3, potentially one-shotting someone with damage that ignores defense. Super strong. And yeah, I mean, you could use Holy Sacrifice if you want to be annoying. You just want to hold, and like imagine you have Holy Sacrifice 2 on Crow, he dies and then he comes back and then he uses a skill 3 again. Oh my god. So yeah, you could have one knight with Aureus, one knight with Adamant Shield, and one knight could be it really depends though, it really depends. It could be Hilag Lance. Yeah, it could be Hilag Lance on another knight. You could run some of the same artifacts. I mean, you can go crazy. This yeah, you get even more effect resistance and more defense as your health drops. Many different combinations that you could be running. So yeah, let's just go back there real quick. So yeah, Moonlight Akatis here. It's the start of the week, so people are climbing. Some people are spending a lot of sky stones to buy flags and pushing, and it might not be their usual ranking, you know what I mean? So yeah, Dizzy is showing up everywhere, which is well, that's refreshing. That's one hero that is not a Moonlight hero, but she is so strong. I use on my defense. I make her very tanky, high effect resistance, high effectiveness, decent speed. And she's super annoying. Like she just AoEs all the time, controls the enemy, debuffs, stuns, the reduced combat units. It is crazy. So ML Akatis, it's gonna be like they mostly have a damage dealer plus support heroes, or it's like a cleave team and they have a backup like ML Bell, something like that. But really, like that team 1 though, is like, where's the damage coming from? I feel like it's Cecilia on Elu 12, or it could just be like hold the damage and just have area damage coming in, and they might not be able to tank it, or they just give up because it's like a never-ending battle. But I don't feel like there's enough sustain on that team. Cecilia gets barrier. Destina heals for a ton though, like a fully skilled up Destina with like super high effect resistance, and like she heals for a ton. And then if you the more debuffs you apply on that team, the more she's gonna give combat readiness when she uses skill 3, and yeah, her healing is really high. So damage dealers, like on my team I just run Dizzy as the damage dealer. Like she doesn't deal that much damage, doesn't even have high crit or crit damage or even high attack. She's just there to like eventually control and deal some damage on their whole team, and they'll just die from arena damage. That's what I'm hoping, or I just sustain their damage and they just give up or something like that. So yeah, there's quite a few teams where they don't really run a damage dealer. I guess you could have Dizzy built as damage, but if you don't have a reviver, she's gonna get sniped pretty easily, even though her stats are quite tanky. Here at Tamarine, you don't see those often in high rankings, but really it's because it's the start of the week, or people are experimenting with different setups. You can see that ML Armin is like Crimson Armin is showing up in most of the teams, because that's a knight right there. That is your Aureus carrier, and immortality plus invulnerability plus immunity team wide is huge. So let's just keep on going. ML Bell, I mean, you could counter ML Bell with just a bunch of effect resistance across your whole team if you go like high survival with high effect resistance. ML Bell will be controlling your team much less. You're gonna see like a bunch of resist happening, and even resisting the buff the buff removal. So there's that. But you can see a lot of Dizzy, and here you got Celeste going, and then Challenger Domino going, boosting combat units of the other heroes and just like blowing the enemy team up. ML Araminta, ML Bell. That's why I call it the Moonlight arena. It's yeah, you've got the Assassin Chloe just in stealth, and I mean, she's such a strong hero. Stealth cuts the area damage by 50%, and she just keeps on going in stealth, and you kind of have to deal with the other tanky heroes before you can really deal with her. So yeah, a real pain in the rear. Don't see her too often anymore, but yeah, you can see Carmen or like Crimson Armin, ML Armin. She just shows up so often. Kayron with the ML Akata super strong combo. We'll see that very soon. Ruel of Light, oh my god. Cartuja, so strong with the evasion, and it feels like it's so much higher than it actually is. It's 15% team-wide evasion, and he has a 100% chance to evade every time he goes. When the battle starts, he doesn't have the evasion, only the 15%. Gisario is another player that uses like no Moonlight hero or very few, so ML Araminta in his group right now. But yeah, the most of the other teams, it's like heavy in the Moonlight department. Like I'm running Destina, Angelica. I'm not as high as them, of course, but you don't see Destina and Angelica paired together too often. It's mostly Angelica. Sorry, Destina. Yeah, Destina and Angelica. You don't see them paired too often. But you see Destina and DN quite often, though. Quite often, yeah. Let's see. Like in Ilu 12, there's no... that's the only Soul Weaver. That's the only one. Man, we gotta go back down there. Let's try to speed through this list. But yeah, Dizzy is showing up a ton. But no wonder, I mean, she is so strong, such an amazing hero. You definitely should get her. Ken is very good. Like he's a bruiser, can be super tanky, and his debuffs are very strong as well. Like you build him tanky, but you're also making him deal more damage, which is beautiful. Got a Baiken, Jurado, Angelica with Ruel, ML Akates with Crimson Armin. This is Denjo. I'm talking about teams that are at the top of the list when I scroll. Yeah, I mean that's Cleave team with the ML Bell sleeping, and plus the Dizzy just like disrupting the enemy team with the debuff. But she could be built with damage, really. It could be her and Araminta, but Araminta is enough to take out most of the teams. Probably not at this ranking because they have so much effect resistance stacked up. Spectre Tenebra, oh my god, you have to deal with the rest of the team before you really like can take her out. She cannot be targeted until then unless you deal area damage. I'm wondering if she's always in stealth though. When there's other teammates, that means she would take 50% less damage from area attacks, but I don't believe she is. Jurado also with passive of skill 2 cuts the enemy team's healing by 50%. So that is that is very strong on top of the rest of his kit. And he's a mage, so he can wear Tagihil's ancient book. Auxiliary Lots can do some crazy stuff with her. Boost combativeness to 100% and give them attack buff. You can really like take out so many enemy teams with her because they cannot cut in. That's the beauty of it. That's a counter to against ML Bell, but that's also a hero that's extremely hard to obtain. It's not natural 5-star, but still natural 4-star Moonlight hero. So like I was checking earlier the list, and there's quite a bit of teams with like one Soul Weaver and Crimson Armin. Like they seem to be doing just fine with one healer. But like in these cases here, DN could be with Rod, Ruel. That's two healers, two healers, two healers. Another assassin Chloe right here. So disrupts with the stunning, annoying with the stealth. And Emelakatis. Man, I'm glad I built her. I just did put her on my defense. Like this success rate, like this new week now, I just added her to my defense. So yeah, it's really like Moonlight arena, like for sure. It's at least 2 Moonlight heroes per team on average, let's say. Let's see here. Don't see some Violet, but Kayron though, like you can see that the ranking is all messed up because like it's the start of the week. Like a lot of people are tied in like you can see the number 52. Like it's like all of them are number 52. But yeah, quickly going through this list, and that's gonna be the end of this one when I finish this though. Yeah, Speed Cleave, ML Bell, just disrupting, got the revive, got yeah, I guess that's enough sustain with the fact that Bell just sleeps all the time and Dizzy just applying debuffs and making them hit for nothing. Speed Cleave, that's definitely like, I don't know, this Dizzy here must be, they don't need 3 damage dealers to take out the enemy team. Like Vildred and Araminta, that's already enough. So this is here for like just in case it doesn't work out and they want to reduce the enemy's team damage as much as possible and keep on going with the cleaving for other turns. Yeah, some teams don't have that much sustain, but they are like, they have very tanky heroes, or they can be super annoying to deal with still. They probably have a ton of speed as well. But when you build like a super tanky team, you don't need that much speed. You just want to tank turn 1, and then you can start disrupting, you can start healing. So it's really about like surviving the initial damage, and then you'll be fine if you don't get like massively debuffed, stunned, like and all that. ML Araminta though, like she lands that team-wide stun, and she keeps on going, and the damage is pretty nuts. Yeah, like on my defense, I might just have like too much sustain. There might be too much sustain, but I don't have Crimson Armor. I don't have Crow. So yeah, I'm testing this. It's pretty much. I tried it before to like build a turn 2 team, but now I'm trying to really make it work. And of course, if you farm Golem, it's much easier. Or if you farm Banshee for resist set, Golem for health defense set, it's gonna be way easier to sustain, like to tank the damage, than if you just farm Wyvern, and that's speed hit, but still hit is good on supports if they can need to land debuff like Dizzy. So even like speed cleave teams, they're running ML Bell. God, it's just crazy. Like these heroes are so hard to obtain. Hero, Crimson Armin, and Destina for the sustain here. Aureus, yeah, probably on Crimson Armin. Cecilia, like she could be built with a lot of speed, but usually I believe they just go crazy with the speed on Crimson Armin. Like if she goes and she applies immunity on the whole team, like before the enemy team, if they use a cleave setup, that's huge. Like you don't even have to worry about speed on the rest of your heroes. And even if you have like, even if they bring someone that can dispel buffs, you could just have a bunch of effect resistance and resist their dispel, which is super broken. But that is so many stats. Like, you need to really have some top tier gear, but you don't have to worry too much about speed. Corvus, ML Corvus. Don't see too many of those. Virtualist using memory imprint of Helga and Siren. Yeah, I mean, I think we're ending about the end of this list. It's just that it's the start of the week, so it's not the perfect moment to check this out. Yeah, so mostly just tanking setups. Just turn 2 teams with some cleave teams here and there. There is so much less martial artist scan than before because of ML Araminta and ML Bell. Oh, get some lag here. So how many? Okay, that's the end of the list. But you see, number 62, like that. There's not even 100 players, or is that what it is? There's not even 100 players, or there's too many players that are tied. No, that's not it. That's not it. 53, 6. There's not enough player yet in the top 100. Yeah, mostly turn 2 teams. I mean, they'll eventually just die from the arena damage if they don't have enough sustain. It starts ticking for, what was it, 3,000 damage for every on your whole team per hero. The thing is, the speed that it ticks at, like, is maybe, I don't know at what speed that thing is running, but it was maybe like, I don't know, on a 200 speed hero, or it could be every like 3 turn that you get hit by 3,000 damage. So you don't need that much sustain to survive that, but still, like, you have to account for the enemy team plus the area damage. So it adds up, and if you get like control, if you get stunned, silence, and you cannot heal anymore, you get your speed down, whatever, combat readiness reduced, you get slept. Yeah, like, the arena is gonna keep on dealing damage to you, and you're missing your sustain. If you get your skills on, skills on cooldown. Judge Kise, just Kise. But I mean, players don't really run these heroes. I think on offense they probably just, like, they have a bruiser. Let's say they have martial artist can and 3 supporting heroes, or they're even just cleaving. They're just cleaving on offense, and their defense is just a turn 2 setup. Or like ML Akatis with Kairon. Man, if I had Kairon, that'd be crazy. Super strong, even for attacking on offense. And also, yeah, ML Araminta, just wow. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for this one. My god, that was super long. I'll try to do this faster, and yeah, I mean, I think I might have gone a bit too slow, or like, I went through this Mystic Summon. Yeah, I could also just like make a Mystic Pool Summon video for each week or something like that. I was thinking about that before. I'm just not too sure if I'll do it just yet. But look, the next week though, man, it's really good. Like, if you're waiting for Angelica, she's there, and what is it? You got Water's Origin. Like, you can use Water's Origin on her for Wyvern 11. But it's really like, if you have Sword of Azira, just put that on a knight and just have a healer. Like, well, of course, Angelica is top tier, but you could do it with the Ether. With enough speed, you could do it without Rod. But yeah, Chloe, yeah, she's very strong for Wyvern. You could, you can 2-man, 3-man Wyvern with Chloe. This thing, Magic Nail, deals damage based on the target's max health. Doesn't work with defense down. It is, I believe, 3% of the target's max health, and it's like pure damage. It's not mitigated by defense. And of course, you've got Rod in that summoning pool, which is very good. Beside that, well, if you need Kyrus for Abyss, Golem, she's there. And what do we have? It's not Tarnagard, unfortunately. If you still need triple S memory imprint for Helga, there she is. And you don't see too much play. Assassin Cartuja, you could use Cartuja for memory imprint. And yeah, he provides some disrupting with the stun, but it's not 100% chance. Yeah, stun, decreased defense, and more stun. So yeah, on my second account, I feel like this is where I'm gonna be summoning. But like free hero, and I have Armin already, and I believe I have Roman as well. So it's mostly for Shuri, Kise, the Moonlight heroes, and yeah, I guess Tegehill's Ancient Book, maybe some Candlestick. Yeah, but yeah, good luck with the summoning, guys. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching. I'm Astranox. Like, comment, subscribe for more. Press the bell icon for to be notified whenever I release a new video. And check out my other videos. They should be showing up on the screen now. I've got playlists of all sorts: Arena, Guild Wars, Guides, Tips, and How-Tos, and Abyss Floor 62+. So check those out if you're struggling in there. Peace out for now.